I was tagged in a video by Heavy Metal Gamer, and I haven't done one of these tag videos in a little while, about 5 games that make you very nostalgic. I think it was the top 5, but I'm not going to pick top 5 because I kind of want to save for future the games that mean the most to me, and some of those are very nostalgic, but there's still a lot of other games that I'm very nostalgic about that may not be on my top 5 of all time list. Maybe they would, but for the most part, they're not. But these are games that they definitely give me very nostalgic feelings when I go back and play them or take a look at them on my shelf. Ones that I definitely had to seek out. Okay, guys, here's my 5 games that make me very nostalgic. Power Rangers The Fighting Edition. Growing up, I was a huge Power Rangers fan and got into the fighting games. And thanks to stuff like Street Fighter and Clay Fighter and many others. One of my favorite TV shows in the 90s, of course, was the Power Rangers. Combine that with a fighting game and I was in heaven. Mighty Morphin Power Rangers The Fighting Edition was one that I wanted to own, but I could just only rent it. Imagine it, having the Zords fight it out? Fighting Lord Zed and Ivan Ooze? I mean, my inner child is just screaming right now thinking about it, yelling it's morphin' time. The only thing that really bummed me was that in the story mode, you couldn't play as the Shogun Zord or the Ninja Zord, which didn't make sense when it came to fight Ivan Ooze at the end. Spoiler, he's the final boss. The fighting game, there's no real story to it. Why do you care? But yeah, I mean, seriously, giant robots, fighting monsters, fighting each other, doesn't get any better than that. These people also developed Gundam Wing Endless Duel, which is another favorite fighting game of mine, so this is definitely one worth checking out. And definitely gives me the nostalgia feels. Mega Man 7. I picked Mega Man 7 out of all the other Mega Man games. No, it's not my favorite one in the series, but I remember going to my local video store, seeing it on a shelf, and I was like, holy crap, an original Mega Man game on the Super Nintendo? I mean, I've been playing 1 through 6 and the X series on Nintendo and Super Nintendo, and been thinking, oh my gosh, it's in 16-bit, I can't wait to play it. And my mind was blown away. I know some people give this game crap, but this game's still really fun. And Mega Man would just stick out his arm buster when he charged. I remember little stuff like that. And Bass, it was the introduction of him and Treble. There's just so much here that added to the series, and it gave Mega Man a true rival. And also there was a little cheat code for you guys. If you know the final boss code, it's online somewhere, and then you hold RL select and start or something like that, and you would get a versus mode where you would play Mega Man or Bass and you could fight each other with your friend. It was really cool and never seen anything like it. I wouldn't be this excited for another Mega Man mainline entry until 8. But also a little horrified when I got to play it, finding out that the voice acting was really, really horrible. That was a fun game, but man, Dr. Fudd. That's all I gotta say about Mega Man 8. Guilty Gear X2. I joined a few clubs in high school back in my day, which meant field trips. I was in a club called FBLA, and they had a conference going on. FBLA, for those who don't know, is Future Business Leaders of America. Not sure why I joined, but I'm sure glad I did, as one of my classmates on that field trip brought a PlayStation 2 to their hotel room and had Guilty Gear X2. Now, I've never heard of this game, but I saw the anime-style graphics and the fast gameplay, and I was just wowed. It blew me away. So I begged him to try it, my classmate, and grabbed the controller and got destroyed, meaning insta-killed. He did not show me any mercy, and while I was humiliated, I for a while had stopped playing a lot of fighting games, got more into RPGs, which I still love RPGs, but you know, I really hadn't got into them, and this is what helped get my gears going to play fighting games again, and is probably one of the reasons why the Game Machine exists as you know it today. So yes, all 10 of you watching, you could thank Guilty Gear for this channel. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2, the arcade game. The reason why this is very nostalgic is, if you're like me and you grew up in the late 80s, early 90s, there was a little show called Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles that was all over the TV. You had ads for toys and teaching kids that drugs are bad by giant mutant turtles. Pizza was okay. You could eat a ton of pizza. I sure did. And also that meant video games. Thanks to that little gray box, the NES, we have this gem of a game, which is a port of the arcade game, which I never played the actual arcade game. But my cousin had this game, and we would play this at my grandmother's all the time. I remember the times of me and him getting on the NES, playing that, drinking her delicious sweet tea that had way too much sugar in it. It was just such good times. So when we weren't killing each other, screaming at one another, or beating the crap out of one another, we were playing this game together. And me and my cousin get along to this day. Now, Josh, if you're watching this, I haven't forgot about that pink pony, you son of a Pokemon, red and blue. Mainly blue. There seems to be a running theme with big hits for kids and me getting hooked on them. Yes, I was very impressionable, but the Pokemon craze hit me, and it hit me hard. While Pokemon Blue was my first, I did get Red a little after, so that's why you're seeing gameplay footage on Red, because I can't find my Blue cartridge. Actually, I did find it, but I recorded Red because I had it at the time. Anyways, that's not the point. So, what got me hooked? It was a simplistic RPG, which RPGs were a thing I was getting into, and Super Mario RPG was my gateway into RPGs. And so the fact that I can catch these creatures, battle them, trade them with my friends, and, you know, I got to the point to once I got a Game Boy Color, I kept my old Game Boy, got a link cable, bought red, bought yellow, bought silver, bought gold, and I was like trading them with myself like crazy. Got Pokemon Stadium with the expansion pack, battling them on my N64, yeah, with the transfer pack. I was living it up. I even called Nintendo Power asking them for a VHS promo tape. Now granted, this was already out by the time I was done subscribing to Nintendo Power, and I got back into Nintendo Power. They said, well, if you got the games, why do you need it? I was like, I don't care, just send it to me. How much is it? They're like, free. Cool, send it. And they sent it to me. I have it somewhere here with some other Nintendo Power VHS tapes, but I think the reason why it's near the top of this whole nostalgic thing for me is that the amount of time and effort I've spent playing on Pokemon games when I was younger, yeah, I did fall out of it, but I do on occasion check out a Pokemon game or two and still get those nostalgia feels when it comes to it. I mean, I collected the trading cards and all kinds of stuff, so Pokemon has been a part of my gaming childhood for a long time, and I know for many of you as well. But anyways, that's my 5 nostalgic games, so I'm going to have to find 5 people to tag here. Let's see who we can find. Okay, you 5, get ready. We're going to first summon Dentenchi as a tag. You've been tagged, sir. Links below to these people's channels. Cygnus the Destroyer. You may also know him as the LJ and Defender. We got the channel of Joe Walker. Space Kappa. Link to his channel below. Jimmy Happa. Import Gaming for the win. He's also the one that gave me the really cool Chie figure. I'm still so stoked about that. Thank you, dude. And a longtime friend of the channel, Mike Maverick. He does his Ace Gamer review show. A lot of these guys are great channels, definitely worth a watch, and you guys should check them out. So I'm tagging you guys, so if any of you guys want to do just 5 games that make you feel all nostalgic inside, just talk about those. We'd love to hear it. And yeah, and anyone else, you know, feel free to make a video about it. You know, I'm tagged, you know what, let's tag the world. I'm going to pick those 5 mainly because I want to shout out those channels because they make great content, but I do want to also say, you know, it's really free for anyone. Go have at it, and I'd love to see what you guys make. So, guys, until next time, everybody, game on.